Hello. So you have one last thing that you have to do, and it's really feedback. This feedback is going to be, I'm going to look at it, you get to fill it out, I'm going to look at it, and it's going to be sent home kind of as your fourth quarter report card. Not that it's a report card, but feedback on the learning that you did in our distance learning model. And I know, like, normally you think, oh, it's no big deal. Why is she writing it? Why is she making a video? I just wanted to go through with you because I did not create this form. So it's a little out of order. And I just kind of wanted to go through with you where you would find the information in order to do the most complete reflection that that you could. So you're going to open up the form, and if you go all the way to the bottom here, well, the last thing that you can do is it asks for your reflection, and you only have one opportunity to reflect. So in this one, you're going to be reflecting overall on how you felt like you did. And you can talk about the distance learning if you want, or specific concepts that we covered, things that you feel strong, that you did really well on, or things that maybe you were challenging. So whatever you want to put in there, that's your opportunity to have a voice and to be heard. I'll read these. They go to the district and then they'll be sent home as well. So make sure that you're thoughtful when it comes to the reflection part. All right, so the reason I started at the end is because the last one that you're scoring yourself on is the volume of a cone, sphere, and cylinder, and that's actually the first concept that we covered. It asks you to rate yourself. Now, as you remember, the rubric that we've used all year has 4 levels. 4 is robust, 3 proficient, 2 developing, 1 beginning, and 0 no understanding whatsoever. So you can go back and look at the assessment that we did, and in a minute I'm going to go into Google so I can show you where to look for all that. But you can look at the score that you got on that and you can rate yourself here. If you got a 3 or a 4, you could put I'm confident in this skill. A 2 would be I'd be making some progress, and a 0 or 1, I didn't make any progress on that particular skill. Okay, so volume of cone and sphere was the first thing we did, and it's at the bottom of your form. The next one is I can understand and use Pythagorean. I apologize, the word theorem should be there. That was the next thing that we covered, is using Pythagorean theorem to solve those problems that involve right triangles. You can look at that assessment and rate yourself on that. Now, it's weird because then we're going to skip up to the top here. The next thing we actually did was factoring. So you're going to go up to the top and answer how you felt you did on factoring. Then the next thing we did was the characteristics of the quadratic relationship. That was looking at all those different representations. And the next thing we did was we solved a quadratic equation. Now, if you look at the next two, they both talk about inequalities. I can express inequalities graphically and in equation form, and I can solve inequalities with one variable. Those are really from one assessment. I'm not sure why we broke those down into 2 questions, but it's really from the same assessment, and that's the one that you just took. So that was the assessment on inequalities, and you can answer both those based on that one assessment. So now when I go into Classroom, I can show you exactly where to find all this. So if you go in to, now I'm in Google Classroom and I'm going into, your classwork. I'm not exactly sure what it looks like at your end, but this is what it looks like at my end. And if you notice, week 2 and week 3, we worked on volume. And on April 8th is when we took the volume assessment. That's where you can go in and you can look at this form and see what your grade was. So that's for your volume of your cones, spheres, and cylinders. Okay, so week 2 and 3 was for volume. And then we did some stuff with science. And then the next week we started Pythagorean theorem. So week 5 and week 6, we worked with Pythagorean's theorem. On Tuesday, April 28th is when we took the Pythagorean theorem quiz. So that would be where you could look for to assess yourself on Pythagorean's theorem. And then we went into factoring. And so you took your factoring quiz on Wednesday, May 15th. Wednesday, May 13th was your factoring quiz. That's where you could look for how well you did on factoring. And then we go to the next one was all the different models of quadratic equations. So that would be, I believe it's this one. Nope, that was the review. So on Thursday, May 21st is when you took the assessment on the multiple representations of quadratic assessments. That would help you answer the next question. And then we go all the way up to here on Monday of this week, June 1st, you took the solving quadratic assessment. And then the last assessment that you're going to take is that you took it today, or actually yesterday, depending when you're watching this video. It's the inequality assessment, and you can use that assessment on June 4th. You can use that for both of those questions that talk about inequalities. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. I am pushing out this form Thursday night. The sooner you get it done, the better, and then you are done. I did assign you something for Friday. I just wanted to introduce it to you. So I'm hoping that you do it, but more importantly, I really need you to do this form. Any missing work is going to be due on Monday, June 8th, because then I have to go through and give feedback on all this as well. So because we went all the way till Friday, I'm going to give you a little extra time to do any missing work, but I would like this form filled out by June 8th as well, so that I can get this all wrapped up and finish my year. So you are done. This is the last thing. Friday, I have a little thing with linear inequalities that I'm hoping you look at. But then you can have a great summer, and yay! Good luck at Lincoln. Again, have any questions, let me know.